Why so many seniors die before 80? The truth doctors rarely share. Have you ever looked around and wondered why some people seem to live well into their 90s, still walking tall, smiling wide, and enjoying life, while others, sadly, don't make it past their early 80s? It's not just about genetics or luck. In fact, many folks quietly shorten their own lives without even realizing it. Not through bad habits like smoking or overeating, we all know those are harmful, but through smaller, quieter choices that fly under the radar. Things that don't look dangerous on the outside, but over time chip away at your health. If you're over 60, this is the perfect time to pause and really ask yourself, what am I doing today that could affect whether I make it to 90 or even 100? You see, the goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live better for longer. And today, we're going to talk about 5 surprising reasons why so many people never get the chance to do that. These aren't reasons you usually hear about, but once you understand them, you can start making simple changes that might just add years and joy to your life. Let's begin with something that almost no one talks about: emotional isolation. You might not feel lonely all the time. Maybe you talk to your kids once in a while. Maybe a neighbor says hello when you walk outside. But emotional isolation isn't about being completely alone. It's about feeling unseen, unheard, or like your presence doesn't really matter to anyone. And that feeling, even if it's subtle, can quietly weigh on your heart. Science has shown us that chronic loneliness is as damaging as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Think about that. Something as silent as loneliness can have the same impact as a harmful habit we've all been warned about for decades. It raises your stress levels, messes with your sleep, increases your risk of heart disease, and weakens your immune system. The body treats emotional pain as a real threat, so it stays in fight-or-flight mode far longer than it should. And over time, that stress wears you down. Now, the answer isn't to throw yourself into crowded places or force yourself to be more social than you want, but it does mean finding real connection, someone to laugh with, someone to share stories with, or even just someone who genuinely listens. A weekly phone call with an old friend, a new hobby where you meet like-minded people, or even joining a local group, like a walking club or a community class. These little moments of connection, they feed your spirit. And when your spirit is strong, your body follows. Another hidden reason so many older people struggle to live past 80 is losing a sense of purpose. Think back to when you were raising a family, working hard, helping others. You probably had a strong reason to get up in the morning. But once retirement hits, or the kids move out, that drive can start to fade. And when there's nothing pulling you forward, it's easy to slip into routines that slowly wear you down, physically and mentally. Studies show that people who feel like they have a reason to get out of bed each day live longer and stay sharper. Purpose doesn't have to mean working a job or chasing big goals. It could be tending a garden, caring for a pet, volunteering, or simply being the wise and loving elder in your family. Even something as small as learning a new recipe each week or writing down memories to pass on, it gives your life rhythm, momentum, and joy. When people stop feeling needed, something inside starts to shrink. The body listens to the mind, and if the mind says, "There's nothing left to do," the body starts believing it. But if you tell yourself, "I still matter, I still have things to give, things to learn," then your whole system starts to wake back up. Your energy rises, your heart beats stronger, life feels exciting again. And that brings us to the next reason that quietly shortens life after 80. Ignoring small physical symptoms because you think they're just part of aging. You know what I mean. that nagging fatigue that won't go away, the shortness of breath when you walk up the stairs, or that little ache in your side that you've learned to brush off. It's so easy to say, "I'm just getting older," and push through it. But here's the truth. Age might bring changes, but pain, exhaustion, or sudden shifts in your health are never things to ignore. In fact, many serious conditions, like heart disease, kidney trouble, or even slow-growing cancers, start with quiet little signs, things you might write off as normal. But catching them early can mean the difference between a small fix and a life-changing emergency. So please, don't let pride, fear, or even past experience keep you from speaking up. Your body is always talking to you. And if something doesn't feel quite right, it's better to ask questions now than to regret it later. Just think about it. How many times have we told our children or grandchildren to speak up if something's wrong? To take care of themselves, go to the doctor, rest when they need it? Well, it's time we take our own advice too. You deserve that same level of care and attention. Now that we've talked about the power of emotional connection, the importance of purpose, and the need to listen to your body, let's continue exploring the hidden habits and choices that can quietly steal years from your life. So, if we've been pushing ourselves too hard or expecting our bodies to bounce back like they did at 40, it might be time to step back and really listen. Now let's move into something that's just as sneaky, but even more common, especially in today's world. It's loneliness. And no, I don't mean simply being alone. There's a big difference between enjoying your peace and feeling isolated. The kind of loneliness I'm talking about is the quiet kind. It creeps in slowly. Maybe your kids live far away, or your spouse passed on a few years back, and your phone doesn't ring as much as it used to. You still get up, make your coffee, maybe even run a few errands, but deep down, something feels missing. What most people don't realize is that loneliness isn't just an emotional issue. It's a health issue. Scientists have found that chronic loneliness can raise your risk of dying early just as much as smoking or obesity. It can mess with your immune system, increase inflammation, and even lead to heart problems. And the hard part is, a lot of folks don't talk about it. Maybe they don't want to seem like a burden, or they think, well, this is just how it is when you get older. But that's not true. You were never meant to do life alone. We're wired for connection. And here's the good news. It doesn't take a big social circle to change things. One or two genuine connections can make a world of difference. It could be a neighbor you wave to every morning, a church group you visit once a week, or even a phone call to a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Just something that reminds you that you're seen, you're heard, and you still matter. And if you're someone who's been feeling that ache of isolation, let me just say this. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. Sometimes the first step is simply reaching out, even if it feels awkward or uncomfortable. Because the truth is, the people around you might need connection just as much as you do. Now let's talk about something that might sound a little surprising at first. Too much sitting. We all know being active is good for us, but what most people don't realize is how damaging prolonged sitting can be, especially after 60. It's not just about stiff joints or gaining a little weight. Sitting too much can literally shorten your life. It slows down your metabolism, affects your circulation, and can increase your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even certain types of cancer. But here's where it gets tricky. Most seniors aren't sitting out of laziness. It's often habit, or comfort, or just how life's structured. We sit to eat, to watch TV, to read, to rest. And before we know it, hours have passed, and our body hasn't moved. The good news is, you don't have to run marathons or hit the gym 5 days a week. Little changes go a long way. Get up every 30 minutes and stretch your legs. Walk around the house during commercial breaks. Do some light chores like folding laundry while standing. Even standing up while talking on the phone makes a difference. Think of your body like a machine. It works best when it's moving. And the more we keep it in motion, the longer and better it runs. Movement doesn't just protect your heart and joints, it helps with digestion, mood, memory, and sleep. It's one of the most powerful anti-aging tools we have, and it's free. You don't need fancy equipment or perfect weather. Just start where you are with what you've got. So if you've found yourself sitting more than you'd like, don't feel bad. This isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. You have more control than you think, and every small step you take adds up. The key is consistency. A few minutes here, a few minutes there. It builds momentum, and before you know it, you're feeling stronger, more energized, and more alive. Now, with all that in mind, there's one more piece we need to talk about. It's one that hides in the background of so many health problems, and yet it's rarely addressed directly. It's something that affects how you sleep, how you heal, even how well your body can fight disease. And that's stress. Now, you might be thinking, at my age, what do I have to be stressed about? But stress doesn't always look like it did when we were younger. It's not just about rushing to work, raising kids, or paying off the house. As we age, stress changes its face. It becomes quieter, subtler. Maybe it's the constant worry about health, or the unease that comes with watching friends get sick, the fear of losing independence, the sorrow of missing someone who's no longer here. That kind of emotional weight, it adds up, and the body feels it, even when we think we're handling it. Chronic stress can keep your body in a constant state of alert, raising your cortisol levels and throwing off everything from your blood pressure to your digestion. It weakens the immune system, messes with sleep, and accelerates aging at a cellular level. That's why sometimes, even when you're eating right and moving your body, you still feel worn down. It's the stress quietly working in the background. So, what can you do? First, give yourself permission to feel. You don't have to stay strong all the time. It's okay to have heavy days. What matters is that you don't carry it all alone. Whether that's talking to someone, a friend, a counselor, a pastor, or simply writing it out in a journal, letting those emotions breathe, is powerful. Because when you release them, you make space for healing. And second, build in small moments of peace. You don't need a full day at the spa or a week-long vacation. Sometimes peace is found in the quiet of the morning, with a warm cup of tea and the sunlight through the window, or a slow walk in nature, or reading scripture and praying. Just you and the Lord. No rush, no pressure. These small rituals tell your nervous system, you're safe, you can relax now. And over time, they shift your entire state of being. Remember this, peace is not the absence of trouble. Peace is the presence of God in the midst of it. Now, before we wrap this up, let's bring everything full circle. You've heard a lot today. Things you might be doing without even realizing their impact, like ignoring those nighttime wake-ups, brushing off loneliness, sitting too much, or letting quiet stress build up. But here's the beauty of it all. Awareness is power. The fact that you're watching this means you care. You want to grow. You want to stay healthy. Not just in body, but in spirit and mind. And that desire, that's the beginning of transformation. You're not too old to change, not too late to heal. You are still becoming, still capable, still valuable. So what do you do from here? Start small. Choose one thing today. Maybe that means taking a walk around the block after lunch, or calling that friend you've been thinking about. or turning off the TV a little earlier and letting yourself just rest. One choice, one moment at a time. And if you fall back into old habits, don't worry. Just try again tomorrow. Because aging doesn't mean fading away. It means rising into wisdom, into grace, into a deeper appreciation of life and the sacredness of each moment. So here's my challenge for you, friend. Don't just exist, live. Even at 60, even at 70, even at 80, your story isn't over. Keep growing, keep moving, keep believing. And if no one else has told you today, you are loved, you are needed, and you are enough. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone you love. You never know who might need a little encouragement right now. Until next time, take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. God bless you.